Google has been building its own Chromebooks for a while now. First, there were 2 iterations of the Chromebook Pixel, and then there was 2017's Pixelbook. All 3 were great laptops with one huge flaw: they cost way too much money. Google's back at it again this year with the new Pixelbook Go, and for the first time, Google's not trying to make the best Chromebook ever. Price be damned. Instead, Google is trying to build a Chromebook that anyone can use and afford. The Pixelbook Go starts at $650, a full $350 less than the original Pixelbook. It's still a lot of money for a Chromebook, but for the first time, Google's built something better than the cheap, low-end Chromebooks out there that's still semi-affordable. Unfortunately, in its quest to get the price down, Google also sacrificed a lot of what made the original Pixelbook so intriguing in the first place. But for a lot of people, those trade-offs will be worth it. All of Google's previous Chromebooks, as well as last year's ill-fated Pixel Slate tablet, had distinctive designs and premium hardware with very few corners cut. While the Pixelbook Go is a nice device, it's a far more pedestrian computer than anything Google has released thus far. It's a basic-looking clamshell laptop with a 13.3-inch 1080p touchscreen and a black paint job, unmarred except for a small Google G logo in the corner of the lid. It also comes in very light pink with a bright coral underside, a much more distinctive combo, but the all-black has a certain understated elegance. Either way, the Go feels sturdy and well-built, but it doesn't have any of the distinctive design elements you'll see in the original Pixelbook. It's thicker than that device, though it weighs about the same at 2.3 pounds. I definitely miss the aesthetics of the original though, particularly its glass and aluminum lid that echoed the design of Google's Pixel phones. The Go has a functional, utilitarian design which I can appreciate, but I wish it was slightly more exciting. There is one new, funky design flourish to be found on the Pixelbook Go. Its ridged underside. For whatever reason, pictures made me think that this was a different, softer material than the magnesium that makes up the rest of the Go's case, but it doesn't feel any different than the rest of the device. Google says it designed these ridges to make the laptop easier to grip or pull out of a sleeve, but I can't say I've had any problems handling other computers. Still, it's good to see Google's more playful side on this otherwise dull laptop. And while the Go might be a little boring, it still feels nicer and sturdier than almost any other Chromebook on the market. The otherwise excellent Asus Chromebook Flip that I reviewed earlier this year is much heftier than the Go, for example. Google surely simplified its design as a way to cut costs, and as such there are some other notable changes to the Go compared to its predecessor. Unlike the first Pixelbook, it's not a convertible, so tablet mode is out. That also means it doesn't work with the Pixelbook Pen stylus. Both the Pixelbook and the Pixel Slate had excellent displays with a taller aspect ratio and higher resolutions than the Pixelbook Go, and I'm a little sad to see the step back in display quality here. That's not to say the Go has a bad screen, it's just not nearly as gorgeous to look at as those last 2 computers. 1080p on a 13.3-inch screen works out to 166 pixels per inch, a far cry from the 235 ppi on the first Pixelbook and the impressive 293 ppi on the Pixel Slate. Google did build a Go with a 4K screen, but that option is only available if you get a top-of-the-line model which costs an eye-popping $1,399. The good news is that the Go has much slimmer bezels around the screen than the original Pixelbook, but I still prefer the taller and more pixel-dense display on that laptop to the screen on the Go. Fortunately, Google didn't skimp out on the keyboard. The original Pixelbook offered a great typing experience, and the Go is almost as good. I can't quite put my finger on what's different, but the keys don't feel quite as soft when you're typing. That said, there's plenty of travel and they're pretty quiet. Google got the whole thing right here. The trackpad, on the other hand, is just fine. It feels kind of rough under my finger and scrolling around isn't as smooth as I'd like. It's not bad and I've gotten used to it, but I've definitely used better touchpads. While Google cut some corners in the design department, the Pixelbook Go is still among the more powerful Chromebooks out there. The base model pairs an 8th generation Intel Core M3 processor with 8GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. The one I reviewed steps up to an i5 processor and 128GB of storage. That model costs $849 and is comparable to what you'll find in the $999 Pixelbook. I wish I could have tried that M3 model because I really want to see what kind of performance Google is offering for $650. Unsurprisingly, Intel's Core i5 and 8GB of RAM is plenty for Chrome OS. The Pixelbook Go handled my normal workload without any issues. My routine involves a dozen or so browser tabs, TweetDeck, Hangouts, Slack, Todoist, Google Keep, and Trello all running as Chrome apps, along with the occasional Android app or 2. Adobe's Lightroom, Netflix, and YouTube Music all mostly worked well, although music playback had the occasional low memory hiccup, which was frustrating. Notably, this didn't happen when using YouTube Music as a browser tab. This reinforces my belief that Android apps on Chrome aren't usually worth using if there's a web-based alternative. Overall, I can't imagine most people will need to upgrade from the $849 model I tried. Google is also selling a $999 configuration that doubles the RAM to 16 gigabytes, while that $1399 model I mentioned includes a Core i7 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, and a 4K display. While I'd surely enjoy that high-res screen, I don't think it's a worthwhile upgrade for anyone. The Pixelbook Go also holds up pretty well on the battery side, something that wasn't always true with the original. In our video playback test, the Go ran for just over 13.5 hours before shutting down. That's more than an hour longer than the 12-hour battery life Google claims with mixed usage. Unfortunately, I never came close to 12 hours when putting the Go through my normal routine, but it did last more than 8 hours, which is a definite improvement over the first Pixelbook. All this said, the Pixelbook Go is a much easier device to evaluate than either the first Pixelbook or the Pixel Slate. It's a standard, familiar, almost boring laptop. But instead of figuring out if Chrome OS works on a convertible tablet, or if you're willing to spend $1,000 on a premium laptop, the Go is just a straightforward, no-frills device. It's still not particularly cheap, especially if you step up to the i5 processor I tried. But premium Chromebooks in the $600 to $800 range are becoming more common now, and now Google has something that can compete on quality as well as price. Yes, you can still get a Chromebook for less money than what Google is asking for the Go. But if you think a Chromebook can be your main computer and don't mind paying a little extra for a device that's thin, light, and well-engineered, the Pixelbook Go will likely meet your needs. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to Engadget's YouTube channel for more news and reviews.